been outside in like 4 hours, so it just seems like it's been great all day, which I know it hasn't. My name is Miles Locke. If you don't know me, I'm the percussion director for Allen ISD. We started this particular, we're calling it the Drumline Showcase, last year. We, as a drumline, typically we go to 2 contests a year, one at the beginning of the year in September, and then one towards the end in early November. We weren't actually able to go to an early one, but we're still going to go to Louisville tomorrow, obviously. But we started this last year where we just invited the community, gives them another opportunity to perform, it gives y'all an opportunity to see them, and just getting them to perform more in front of people always makes it easier when we actually do go to the contest. We're just going to start calling this the annual Allen Drumline Showcase. So thank you so much for being here. We are going to introduce the group that you see before you. This is the JV Drumline. They rehearse every single day, just like the Varsity and the rest of the band. In fact, when the band is outside working on the contest show, they're actually inside working on their drumline show. So they have been here and putting in just as many hours as everyone else in the band program. They've just been working on a different product. And it's been really, really fun. So I do want to introduce some of our staff members. Heather Johnson is down here. Trey Clark, he's been working with us this year. He's not able to be here, I don't think, unless Trey's here. No Trey. Logan Schmidt, he works with mostly the Varsity battery. And then we also have our cymbal tech, Sammy Vasquez, who's in the house. Please give him a round of applause. So a normal, 6A drum line is between 20 and 30 people. We have almost 70 here, so we could actually field 3 drum lines if we really wanted to. So we have 2 fully functioning drum lines at Allen, which is crazy. I only know of one other school who does that and actually has their second group compete competitively. So I think it's really special what we get to do here, and they obviously have bought in, and just seeing them on a daily basis is just so rewarding. And you're gonna hear all of their hard work here in a minute. So I do want to introduce their show. We started this last year, where we actually write the JV show in-house. A couple of benefits there are we get to make the music sound however we want it to, and we get to write to their talents as well. So we know exactly their skill level. We know if we have a really good marimbas that we can give something extra difficult to. So Heather Johnson actually wrote, and she came up with this idea, I want to say like the day of Louisville last year. She was like, I have an idea, Metamorphosis. I was like, sounds great. And so she designed basically the format of the show. It's in 4 parts. Movement 1, we're calling Origin. Think caterpillar in a jungle. Movement 2, this one was actually she gave me reins to write my own movement. So I'm calling it metamorphic rock. So intense high pressure, and then there's a little pun, we do rock out at the end. And then movement 3, emerge. It depicts coming out of our previous state and transitioning to our final form. And then the final movement is called imago. And this is the final and fully developed state. So, super fun show. I know that they've had a blast putting it on, and we can't wait to perform it for you. So, without further ado, this is the Allen JV Drumline performing Metamorphosis. Awesome. Cool. So that was Metamorphosis. The next thing we're going to do, we're going to have a quick transition. We're going to switch out groups, get Varsity up here. So give us just a couple of minutes and I'll be back with y'all in just a few. All right, while they're still setting up, I wrote down a lot of stuff to talk about because they know I like to overtalk. Just a couple of things about this year. It's been a kind of a weird year in a lot of ways. It seems like life tried as hard as possible to keep us from succeeding, but our resiliency and their resiliency always prevailed in the end. So here's just a few examples of things that we had to deal with this year that aren't necessarily normal. One, we were displaced from our facilities from the beginning, at the end of May, because they were doing renovations here. So we weren't in our home, so to speak. We were actually at Ford Middle School. We loaded up our semis with all of our percussion gear and band gear, and we hauled it to Ford. It stayed there all summer, and we actually did summer band there as well. We thought we were going to get back into AHS on August 1st, and then that didn't happen. So we finally got back a week or so later than anticipated. So that was just one thing. So after 6 weeks of summer rehearsals, we get to our first football game. Everyone's excited to perform, and the only rain shower in North Texas popped up over Eagle Stadium 15 minutes before halftime, poured for 30 minutes, and then went away. So we actually weren't even able to perform our first show. And finally we did get to perform the next week. Then the first away game is Choctaw Stadium in Arlington, the old Globe Life. And if you didn't know, there was a Rangers game happening at 7 o'clock. Our game started at 7, and then at AT&T there was a Bad Bunny concert, and then there's, I-30, just is terrible. We ended up getting there so late that when the band finally got to the field, halftime had started. So we didn't get to perform unless you count the band, the Allen band, sprinting across the field as Martin was trying to set up for their halftime show, a performance. So that was kind of a bummer. Let's see. We weren't able to get into our early drumline contest because it was actually booked, fully booked. So again, normally we try to do an early and then a late season one. So that was a little bit of a bummer. It was nice though because we got to go to the AHS Drumline contest just as spectators. There's no pressure. We got to watch the other groups, so that was really cool. Let's see. Our music didn't arrive until later than we anticipated it. And then also, it turns out a full week off in the middle of October, in theory, sounds great. When you're knee-deep in marching season, that was kind of a challenge for us that we hadn't had to endure before. So that was a thing, the fall break. And then, of course, most recently, it decided to monsoon on senior night. So it just feels like there have been a ton of curveballs this year, but we've handled it really well, and I'm really proud of them for how they've handled it. One other thing that kind of is along with that, and is also kind of why I made this as well. The Allen Percussion Ensemble, the wind ensemble, the saxophone ensemble, all were invited to the Midwest Clinic, which is a national conference in Chicago just before Christmas. It's a really big event, international, and we actually had to record and submit tapes that were listened to by judges, and they selected 3 of our groups, which to our knowledge, we don't know if there's ever been another school that had 3 ensembles invited. So we actually started working on that music, that repertoire, when school started. So between that and marching band and keeping the balance, and they still have homework, it's been challenging, but I feel like we've been doing really, really well with that. I'm sure that they all are ready kind of to move on from marching season, focus on Midwest, and take care of that. I'm gonna do some thank yous before we play. Number 1, Justine Anderson and the band boosters. They're just so incredible, they're so supportive. I think Justine works as many hours up here as I do. I don't know how. She's just always here. Between the props and the food and the uniforms, and she's always doing something. Karen Burwell, who is our percussion chair, she's new this year to that role, but she's just done a phenomenal job of communicating with all the parents, making sure that I am well fed at every game and contest. Thank you, Karen. I can only handle so much Chick-fil-A that the band gives us. All chaperones and volunteers that have helped us this year. If any of you are in the audience, thank you so much. We literally can't do any of this without you. As you know, anything in Allen, it takes a village, and we need a really big village in Allen. And then the group that always doesn't get enough credit is the truck loading crew. So thank you to Phil and everyone else who works with that, who literally gets us from point A to B. And we're actually short on truck loading crew this year. So if any of y'all want to volunteer in the future, we could always use you. Let's see, and AHS staff, thanks for helping organize this and for your constant support. And then I do want to give a shout out to our sound engineers. So this right here, speakers, and then over there, Samantha Wave. So she's operating a mixer, it's actually a $2,500 mixer. And all of the front ensemble is mic'd up. The electronics synthesizers back there all have different sounds, and it's all running through that. 15 years ago, that wasn't a thing. And now the technology is so crazy that it's hard for one percussion director to teach this and that and this and that and keep this thing running. So this year, Samantha and then Austin Crabtree, who isn't able to be here tonight, they actually took all of that on. And so they are, throughout the show, they're changing scenes and changing levels and making sure that everything sounds right. And that's been their only job for all of marching band. So we couldn't do it without you. So thank you so much, Samantha. Okay, yes. Cool. Sorry, I told you I talked too much. A couple more words. I want to acknowledge some people. Our student leadership, it's so vital, right? Like just having the people within the section who are able to delegate and make sure that everyone knows where to be and what to wear and all that. So I'm gonna just, if I say your name, just stand up or wave if you're on stage. So JV snare section leader, Jake and Mulder. JV quad section leader, Carter Geist. JV bass section leader, Zach Hammonds. JV cymbal section leader, Jonathan Anderson. Varsity drum captain and quad section leader, Carson O'Connor. Varsity snare section leader, Katie On. Varsity bass section leader, Matt Lingell. And varsity pit section leaders, Christopher Hardesty Crouch and Izzy Bledsoe. Christopher's not able to be with us. He actually has a family event, but he's been really, really awesome this year. And we can't do this without recognizing one of our most integral groups here, our seniors. So if I call your name, please wave. Jonathan Anderson. Jackson Pearson. Katie On. Izzy Bledsoe. Matt Bryan. Preston Campbell. Tate Cope. Ben Freiberger. Christopher Hardesty Crouch. Colby Harris. Nick Jabbar. Jacob Jerson. Jonathan Kemp. Aiden Gimble. Matt Lingell. Josh Monday. Carson O'Connor. And Gabe Uhas. I didn't miss anything, did I? Okay, good. And I do want to thank, she doesn't even have to be here. She's been done. Thank you to our drum major, Tess Driscoll. I just was like, hey, do you want to help with the drumline thing? She was like, sure, just tell me where to be and when. And so she's been awesome this last week or so, and she'll be with us at Louisville tomorrow as well. All right, I have some awards. And I printed off these really cool. I made them myself. Okay. I was talking to them earlier. I feel like the marching band thing. We spend so much time doing it, and I feel like we're coming to an end. And so I feel like we have to do something to just reflect and honor all the people and all the hard work and the time that we put in. So I do have a couple of awards. If I call your name, come on up, and I'm going to give you a certificate. Is Calvin Koo here? Where's Calvin? If you don't know Calvin, I don't know how you don't know Calvin. He takes so many pictures and videos. He's got a YouTube channel and a company. You should use him. Anyway, he is like the de facto band photographer, and he's basically at every single event and has been for a number of years. thank you so much to Calvin. I know this will probably be your last year since you've got a graduating senior. But if we don't mind, if you can get a picture of us whenever I'm handing out the... All right, first award, Most Improved JV Pick, goes to Aaron Ephraim. And they get candy. Because Miss Johnson had leftover Halloween candy. All right, next. Most Improved JV Battery goes to Mimi Holden. Also, the awesome jacket she's wearing, they just came in today. So for all the parents who have been asking, they're in just in time for Louisville, which we couldn't be happier about. All right, next, the JV Spirit Award, and I just put, always has a positive attitude and is eager to help out even when they aren't asked. Goes to Hayden Garrett. Next up, JV MVP, someone who has great initiative and has been a positive role model for the rest of the section. And that goes to Jacob Mulder. All right. Couple of varsity awards. Varsity Newcomer of the Year, someone who it's their first year in varsity. And I couldn't think of anyone better to give this to, none other than our very own Colby Harris. Next up, Varsity Selfless Leadership Award, Josh May. And last but not least, Varsity MVP. And this goes to, he's not here, Christopher Hardesty Crouch. Cool. All right, one last note. I was thinking about this yesterday, just how much time we have put into this craft and this activity since summer band started. I went ahead and just added up some hours. You might not believe this. We have spent over, since summer band, 300 hours doing band. And that is basically 12 straight days, 24/7 of band. And that is just this season. That's just crazy. That's hard to believe, right? So that just shows you how committed everyone here is, how hardworking. So I want to give one more round of applause to all the students. Okay, I've talked enough. Let's go ahead and finish it out with the varsity performance. This was our UIL, or our contest show, and it is entitled Luminescence. The drum parts, all the percussion was written by Russell Wharton. All of our electronics were written by Justin Shelton. It's been a really, really fun show to work on and as it's developed. And so we're excited to get to play it one more time tonight and at Louisville tomorrow. So, without further ado, this is the Varsity Drumline playing Luminescence. Just kidding. Thanks for coming out. And I forgot to say, Midwest Send-Off Concert is going to be December 16th right here, and those are the times for the groups. All right, thank you so much. Thank you for your support. If you're going to be in Louisville, come catch us at 7:15 and 9:45 tomorrow. Bye.